The Bundesliga comes to Wembley this weekend with a special Der Klassiker Champions League final, Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich. Now, to preview the game full goal, we've lined up two very special guests. One is Jonathan Wilson, who may know where this year's final is going to be won. The other is a two-time Champions League winner and former Borussia Dortmund man, Paulo Sousa. Paulo, no club's ever won back-to-back Champions Leagues. And I think only one player ever has done it, and it's you. First of all with Juventus and then with Borussia Dortmund.
I don't have, I'm not sure on that. Probably Desai could do with Marseille and Milan. I say Milan.
Right. Very few players then, but you're one of them.
Yeah, yes, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, because winning a Champions League, it's something fantastic.
Is that the biggest pressure you've ever felt as a player going into that first Champions League final?
Not the first. It was in the second. Right. I feel it more pressure in the second than the first one.
Right.
The first, because I was a type of player very focused on the game. I anticipate everything what happens during the game, because normally you have a preparation for the game during the week. You are focusing all the details our manager saying to us, showed to us, and also working with us on the pitch. With Dortmund, also because I left Juventus the year before, it was lots of pressure in myself, special made by the Italian media.
Borussia Dortmund then had all sorts of misadventures after that Champions League triumph. You've been back with them recently this season, looking at the way that Jurgen Klopp's working with the team, following his training. How important a figure is he for the club?
I think it's a huge. It's important for everything what they made so far. First of all, because they not predict, but they plan something. Jurgen and Michael Zorc, football director in my time, the captain of my team, is something they work for. I think everybody appreciates what fantastic season Dortmund made it so far. Well,
it has been an unbelievable campaign. Can they cap it off, though, with a triumph against a Bayern Munich team that's fresh from destroying Barcelona 7-0 on aggregate? Well, to have a look at how the two teams are going to face off and where the game may indeed break down, we now bring in tactical guru Jonathan Wilson, author of Inverting the Pyramid, and a very special piece on this very game for Goal's very own website. Jonathan, you got some fancy-coloured little buttons there and a nice simulacrum of the Wembley pitch. Take us through it.
If we start with Bayern in the red, obviously Neuer in goal, Lam, Alaba, the two centre-backs, Dante and Boateng. Back in midfield, Javi Martinez, Schweinsteiger. On the right, got Robben, left Ribéry, Müller and Mandzukic, the centre-forward. Dortmund, Weidenfeller, Piszczek at right-back, Schmelzer at left-back. Two centre-backs, Hummels and Subotic. Back in midfield, Gundogan and Bender. Mario Götze, if he's fit, which we don't quite know yet.
So, if he doesn't play, what does Klopp do then?
I think probably he joined another midfielder in the middle, more holding midfielder. Probably, if they want to play with this structure, with one up front, because the last game in the cup. Practically what Jurgen made it is to play with a five, a line of five in the middle.
So Götze played on the right then, yes, and Grosskreutz came in here.
Exactly, to close more down the participation, attacking participation for the fullbacks, where they are quite offensive and participating so often, because lots of movements from the wingers of Bayern, who create a lot of room also for and giving deepness to this game with the fullbacks. Lots of movements and mobility from the four up front with Müller and the striker. Lots of swapping positions, so that you want to create a little bit, or at that moment and in that game, you want to have more players in the medial-low block to close down all the space, and special with the reference of the players, not so zonal, but more references of players. Because what I saw it, normally if we opt with this structure, probably Gundogan, he can assume one lineup, probably, and have another holding midfielder there. Probably. Yeah.
But the problem that happened in that cup game for them was that Martinez and Schweinsteiger had loads of space, no defensive responsibilities, and you saw then both of them actually were coming over to the right. They were both hitting this channel here. The Grosskreutz, who really he's a utility player, he can play as a forward. He played at fullback actually on the weekend. So they were hitting that space behind him, and that caused a lot of problems. The other issue they had was that because there was no number 10 effectively, it meant that Dante could wander forward. He's very good on the ball. He was able to distribute, so that created even more options for this intermovement, for this mobility. And he's playing a lot of long balls out to the left. Now that caused some problem then because Müller was playing out on the right. He'll be playing in the middle because Kroos is injured. But Müller out on the right won a lot of aerial balls against Schmelzer. So that was another way, another avenue of attack for Bayern. And that really is the problem with this Bayern. They can attack from everywhere. It's very, very hard to close them down.
Well, they've faced each other 4 times already this season between Super Cup, Cup and twice in the league. It's always been tight, 2 draws in the league and 2 victories for Bayern by a single goal margin. But didn't Chelsea show just last summer that the best way to stop Bayern is just to sit back, soak up? So isn't that what clubs should be doing?
I think Dortmund are a very different make-up to Chelsea. I think they play in a very different way. You know, their great strength is winning the ball high up the pitch. It's the transitions, very, very quick transitions from front to back.
You saw Klopp preparing for the Real Madrid game. Do you think he's going to spring any surprises? And what will he do with his players before the final on Saturday?
I think the surprise it was for example, in the cup in German, and especially against the Bayern when they play away. To use these 5 players in the middle,
right?
Because the pattern is exactly the pattern is to have to play with the 2 midfielders and with 1 second striker with lots of mobility. That is what allowed him or allowed his team to have fantastic transitions. It's one of the quicker teams to make offensive transitions because they are so aggressive. Yeah. In the moment they lose the ball, they have lots of capacity to straight away to break.
Both of these teams play in that incredibly, almost asphyxiating manner, no? Both very intense with their pressing.
Yes, I think the key. Sorry, John. The key is of course the disponibility. Mental disponibility for all the players,
right.
The capacity to understand their main role in the moment they lose the ball. For me, Gundogan, for the first moment, the way he built it up from the back, the way he assumed the game, the rhythm of the game, the way many times he press high because sometimes he leave his line and he coming to press straight away and push the team. And the lines coming much more closer, and it's the one he assume that rhythm. He could be one of also the key players, in my opinion. From the part of Bayern, I think the quality and the mobility of whole team. But if we're looking for a specific player, I think, and the one in my opinion, he can make lots of the difference, and they are doing a fantastic season. Mm-hmm. It's Müller. He can play as a wide player. He can play behind the striker. He can play as a striker. It's someone they are doing quite well.
Absolutely, but also having Martinez, I thought he was fantastic against Barcelona. Just his range of passing, doesn't lose the ball. He played at times as a centre back for Athletic last season, so he understands how to defend as well. Yes. I think his role in setting the rhythm of Bayern is vitally important. So actually, it's interesting. We're picking similar positions on both teams. Right. The player who sets the tempo from the back, and then the creative player behind the front man.
And it's for me, it's the player, the most clever player, the most intelligent player to read well the game.
Prediction then for the game?
I hope Dortmund could win. I think, of course, this season, and Jurgen, you recognize Bayern. You have another step, but this season so far they don't beat, and final everything can happen. I'm sure something will be different than the last 2 games that when they played against each other, and hopefully that the strategy. Jurgen work and think it will be the best for the final. Could have a result for them.
Okay, so you're hoping Borussia.
I hope.
Right. Okay, Jonathan.
One part of myself is still in Borussia.
Yeah, I mean Bayern are clear favourites, but you do wonder the way the Malaga game went. the way the Real Madrid game went, is the momentum behind Dortmund. And yeah, 25-point gap in the league at the end of the season. There's a reason why it is that big. It's because Bayern are a lot better. But in a one-off game, and they've been building for this for 2 or 3 months, you know, this...
My second final against Juventus. Juventus, it was the favorite. It's regarding the players they have, regarding also the momentum they have. It was the favorites, and we beat them.
You certainly did. Paulo, many, many thanks for that. Hope you enjoy the final on Saturday. Jonathan, thanks to you as well for explaining it to us thickies at the back. There is a full article by Jonathan on the incredible tactical battle that awaits this Saturday over On Goal, so do have a look at that. And do let us know your thoughts as well using the hashtag CLPredictions.